the tyre rolls, but just very slight, which gives it more grip and more feel on the way in, which is what I like preferably. So it's definitely a good change they've made. You know, it's a kind of scary thing whenever somebody brings a new tyre out. You're like, I don't know, the old one was good, but no, they've definitely it's a better tyre, and I'm looking forward to racing the rest of the year.
Michelin, a better way forward.
Les Lewis Hall, number 9, just been for the pre-race toilet break. A lot of nerves at this stage. No matter how many times you do it, adrenaline starts to build. So this down in the pit box, this is where you can see a lot going on. The mechanics' final run through. Even the mechanics, you know, I'd hate to be a mechanic because you know, final checks, if something goes wrong, rider.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot. The mechanics work exceptionally hard, you know, and then they're under. Once they go off, once they pull away from this pit box, that's it.
You're on your own.
You're on your own, and you've got to worry about the bike and make sure you've done all your final checks. You can see here Jamie Law having his start device put on. Now, again, if you're new to the sport, what that is a little button on the fork guard. You pull the forks down, it compresses and it holds the forks down. What that does is it stops the front end lifting as they come off the start. But the minute you hit a bump on the track, it sort of automatically disengage.
Yeah, probably on this track, probably not till the first corner when you get on the brakes.
Yeah.
It just makes sure the weight is more over the front end. If you're shorter of stature, you're probably going to need that a little bit lower. People seem to crank them all the way down nowadays, don't they? Lower the better.
So Martin Barr was here racing yesterday, so he's looking good for the overall. Obviously, for those of you that follow British motocross, you'll know that there was a date clash, varying issues with that. I'm not going to go into all the politics of that right here and now. But either way, Martin Barr took 2 race wins yesterday and is good position to win the overall. But we've got all the other riders here. See Searle. So this is going to be interesting. You've got Sean Simpson joining the mix, Searle, all these other guys.
Lewis Hall there on screen, 24 of Sean Simpson.
Harry Kulas, championship leader on the cab screens. Crescent Yamaha.
Nathan Dixon, is that?
Yep. Sam Nunn. There's Ando, now 40 years of age.
Yeah. It's a big number, but he's got a big heart, hasn't he? And he can still ride. Just as good as ever. I mean, he's probably past his best, but he's fantastic.
There's Todd Kelly. If you're wondering what he's bringing up there, the industrial, that's not to clobber another rider around the head. That is their starting blocks, because now a lot of them basically make it easier if you just raise your feet off the ground.
Especially with the grids, because there's no rut.
Yeah.
They used, well, back when we would have been racing, not here because there's a concrete start, but most places you'd have a rut to slot your wheel into. You'd be able to get your feet down on the floor. On these grids, it's a bit difficult to do that.
So a lot of them opting for, there's, you know, Sean Simpson with his nicely
prepared
with his rubber band together.
But they've all got the neatness, our Sean does.
Yeah, there's the immaculate Kulas, is Oakley roll-offs ready to go in the bag. So you can see all the prep that goes into just even getting a good start. It's so vitally important in any motocross race. These guys in particular, the margins, you cannot afford to get a good start at this level and try and work your way through.
No,
you know,
it's very difficult. The start, I think, probably at this level is 60% of the race. I mean, I don't know the accurate numbers, but it will be a big number to, you know, like if you can put yourself in the right position, then you can make anything happen. I know Millward made it happen the other week at one of the races, one of the championship races, and took a win. You know, it's and he's not. I mean, not saying he's bad, but he's not typically the guy that would go out there and win every week in, week out. So, you know, that just shows you how crucial it is to get those starts.
Absolutely.
And especially here today, because of how, how muddy and wet. I mean, it's not muddy, but you saw the goggles of Cullen Scott. You don't want to be buried in that.
No, you do not.
If you can have clear goggles, clear vision, you can have less problems, and it's going to pay dividends to you for, building a gap from the pack.
There's Simo looking, well, incredibly chilled out. I mean, it's just like, whatever. But Sean has raced and won GPs.
Elliot Banks-Brown.
Elliot Banks-Brown. Let's talk about Elliot. He needs a change of fortune. His start of his year has not gone well at all.
Kyle McNichol on the GRT.
On the Oakleaf Honda.
Yeah, not too good. He's been fast. He's been fast. Elliot Banks-Brown has been fast. It's just not everything's clicked together, has it, for him? So hopefully we have a good day for him.
As we're coming across the start line. Good to have number 3, Josh Gilbert, back. There's Harry Koulas with the red plate. Okay, so let me explain that for those of you who don't know. Red plate signifies you are the championship leader. And Harry Koulas is leading the Pro MX1 category. There he is, Tony Craig, still going strong.
Yeah. Him and Ando can jump on their Zimmer frames.
2 Scotsmen there. John Adamson alongside. So
there's Edmonds as well. Stuart Edmonds on the Apico Factory Racing Husqvarna, and the 184 Jamie Carpenter on the Crescent Yamaha.
So here we go, people. This is it, the fastest 40. Now this guy took 2 thirds yesterday in MX2. He is riding number 6, Carlton Husband, on the Phoenix Tools Apico Kawasaki with a broken shoulder blade. Here we go.
Ruined. He's a ruined shoulder. The gate drops, and they're away.
Who's going to pull the whole shot as they sweep in? Look like Koulas with an absolute flyer down the pipe, but did he hold on to it? No, he don't think he did. That is Martin Barr right at the front. Tommy Searle on the Honda there, the Creedon Honda, making a good fast track Honda, isn't it? Creedon fast track Honda, making a good start. Todd Kellett, was that round the outside as well? Yes, Todd Kellett, the sand specialist with a flyer.
Barr again. So Barr wasn't a coincidence yesterday that he took 2 moto wins, and I think he wants to prove that as well, doesn't he? He wants to absolutely prove that he's got the ability to win races when everybody's here, not just a handful.
He's on his own team set up this year, Martin, on the Delvikic Racing BRT Kawasaki.
So a bit of creativity from Searle through the rollers then. Tommy was doubling through the rollers, like what you said would start to happen with these guys.
But it is Martin Barr, the Delvikic Racing by BRT rider out front. But not anymore. Todd Kellett, number 5, jumps into the lead through that section. He will love these conditions, love them. And not only that, he could ride these conditions for 3 hours straight.
At that speed, probably. Yep. He's, really cool kid.
Oh, but look, Simpson.
Sean. That was sketchy.
Sean Simpson fancies a bit of this. Kellett is going to have to work exceptionally hard because here comes Sean Simpson, inspired. And Harry Koulas back in 5th.
Yeah.
Smart cat. Don't think he is going to pace this race. He is so strong at the end of the moto. The number 151.
He paces races to perfection, doesn't he? He really does.
Hardened Estonian.
He's burning the back end of Tommy right now, where Tommy's Sean's burning his front end. He's burning the cattle both ends. I have to put that one out. But this race is everyone's in the right positions, aren't they? Oh, hang on.
Well, not everyone. Sean Simpson. So basically, Martin Barr has dropped back. Simpson up to 2nd. Let's give you, when they go across the line, of course, there's no Planet Moto first lap leader in the pros because, well, basically,
they often live out there.
They're
anyway.
often there anyway. The prize, we want to give the prize to the amateur and clubman. Kellett getting cheered on, Simpson. Let's get them over the line next lap around, and we'll give you a rundown. So when they cross the line, we will tell you where they are in the race from top to bottom and what class.
See what they're doing through here then.
Oh!
Whoa!
Simpson, rodeo, bucking ball through that. He rode it out though. Yeah, give that guy some chaps. He needs to be in a
Wow.
rodeo.
These three have actually pulled away from Tommy Searle at the minute as well. So I don't know whether Tommy had maybe a little bit of an error, but he was there in the frame with him before, and they've got a bit of a gap on him. So Tommy is back out the way at the minute with Koulas.
There was a little reminder for Sean, just to waken him, just to freshen him up.
You're alive. You're in.
You're in. Knuckle down. So across the line, here we go. Let's do a running order then of where we're at. Fastest 40 brought to you by Michelin and Milwaukee.
So that's actually Todd's partner that was hanging over the fence with his pit board. He goes to the racing with his girlfriend.
Yeah, his fiancée, Lucy.
Yeah, fiancée, yeah. She was boarding him. Big effort. It's a big effort from all of those guys with their team.
Okay. Finally, it's uploaded. In MX1, it's Todd Kellett leading the way, number 5, ahead of Sean Simpson on the SS24 machine. Then it's Martin Barr. Tommy Searle is in 4th, ahead of Harry Koulas. Then it's Glenn McCormack in 6th. 7th is Jake Millward on the Verdi Substance KTM. Where do we get up to? Then it's Josh Gilbert for 8th. Par Holmes, Husqvarna. Dan Thornhill, then Gav Stevenson 10th. Stewie Edmonds 11th. Liam Knight for 12th, Elliot Banks-Brown in 13th, Tony Craig 14th, Gary Gibson number 14 and 15th. Then it's Jason Mira number 10 and 16th, 17th Brad Todd. In the MX2 category, it's the Scotsman on the Gabriel Solutions KTM, John Adamson leading the way ahead of Jamie Carpenter in 2nd, 184. Then it's Nathan Dixon for 3rd, Florent Mio is in 4th, number 247, ahead of Jamie Law, number 25, Lewis Hall on the Rob Hooper Racing Tiny Tablet Yamaha in 6th. Then it's Grimshaw, Tom Grimshaw, number 16 on the Chambers Husqvarna. Carl McNichol is 8th, GRT Whole Shot KTM. Then it's Sam Nunn, Brad Anderson on the Verdi KTM in 10th, Jamie Wainwright for 11th, Callum Mitchell in 12th, and no surprise to see Carlton Husband, not because he's a bad rider, but because he's riding with a broken shoulder blade and dislocation, out there salvaging points in 13th. Number 6 on the Pico.
Good to see.
On the, Phoenix Tools Pico Kawasaki.
Good to see Kyle McNichol a little bit further up the field. I know I've been speaking to the team there, and they expect good things from him. I think again he's a little bit of a carpenter, a bit of a slow burner. Might need to get into it a little bit. He's only just come up from the youth ranks as well, Kyle McNichol. So good to see him having a little bit of a better race.
So we're on Koulas, the cab screens. Present Yamaha rider, just sort of shaking his head a little bit there. He didn't look overly happy. He's very particular and precise with bike setup.
He won. I'll put it into perspective. He won at the first round of Fat Cats, the first race, and I asked him how it was. We need to change things with the bike. I'm not happy. I'm like, mate, dude, come on, you just won. So yeah, but when his bike's right and everything's working good, he wins. He knows.
Yeah.
He knows that.
That was a good stab at an Estonian accent there.
It's not good.
You sounded like the meerkat. Okay, so you can see Sean Simpson starting to settle in after that early wobble. Kellett will know that. Listen, Sean is a brilliant sand rider. These are two amazing sand riders. In a different way, Todd obviously being really good, but now focusing on beach racing, really heavy dune sand, deep, fluffy. Sean Simpson has won GPs, and done great at places like Lommel and stuff like that. So different kind of styles. Todd is obviously used to going longer distances on more wide open tracks, but he's going to be loving this, and he's getting some brilliant. Florent Mio on the Par Holmes Husqvarna goes out. Well, he doesn't go out. He's just taken a digger, the French rider.
Sam Nunn just pulling off as well.
Yeah. Sam Nunn pointing at his shoulder like he's done something to that.
Peaks all down and everything. Looks like he's had a bit of a crash.
Yeah,
maybe.
365 on the Rob Hooper Racing Tiny Tablet machine off the track, with support from Gear Tech as well. So here we are, back to the famous whoops section. Like I said, these used to be much bigger and a longer section, but they're still treacherous. Don't kid yourself.
I think they have to sort of cater it to the kids as well nowadays. I just saw a little puff of smoke out of Simpson's bike then.
Okay, let's see on that. Here's Tommy Searle trying to make a move on Martin Barr. So the Brendan fast track Honda rider.
Oh, and he's got him.
Has he?
Yeah.
I don't know. Martin just kind of went
Yeah, go on.
Yeah,
So
Martin.
maybe he's feeling it from yesterday.
I don't know. It looks like Martin slowed right up here. Has he got a problem? He suddenly just kind of...
Backed it off a bit.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll try and keep an eye on that. So waiting to pick the leaders up as they come round behind the start. Who's that one? Simpson!
Simo, the
Down.
bike as well.
Okay, so Sean Simpson, I think that's just overheated because it's been on the ground, but Sean Simpson, he's having an indifferent start of the year. You know, he gains momentum, then he has little problems, so he will not be happy about that at all.
I thought Sean had turned it around with his result from yesterday as well. I thought he'd just figured something out.
But that's
Hawkstone bites.
That's Hawkstone, that's motocross. This is really tough. What it has done has given Todd Kellett on that Yamaha France machine Dragon Tech a bit of clear space.
A big bit of clear space. He's got a chunk of change there, look. There's a good 6 to 10 seconds back to Tommy Searle now.
And what I will say about Todd Kellett is you know he's going to go the distance.
Oh, he will, yeah, he will. And that's probably going to be the worrying thing for people like Tommy and stuff. If he's out there and if he knows the pace, as in like he's set the pace of this race, he's going to be able to handle that. Well, you'd like to think anyway. So he's going to manage that.
I think Martin Barr is he's doing great, but I think because he's been off the bike, he's had that ankle injury and it just race fitness. Yesterday, these guys wasn't here. He had 2 solid rides, a little bit more unchallenged. He's now feeling the pace, being back into it. But Martin has got a load of experience. Happy Father's Day to him, by the way. He's got his 2 new twins here this weekend.
Happy Father's Day to a lot of these guys as well, Tommy and Sean.
Yeah.
Both got newborns as well. All sort of become dads at the same sort of time,
it's cool,
didn't they?
isn't it? It's cool.
Yeah.
So I think Martin will just kind of like, do you know what? 5th is good. You know, I'll take that. I'll settle in and he's not going to override, is he?
No,
That's
I don't
my
think
point.
so. Kula still not able to do anything about Tommy, is he? Is he comfortable? I don't know. It must be very difficult coming from a hard pack race yesterday as well, coming here. His bike setup's going to be completely different. And he is the sort of guy that relies on that good feeling. Martin Barr has just thrown his goggles.
Yeah,
so
I think
Martin
he's
Barr,
feeling
the
it.
Delkovic Kawasaki, goggles have gone.
So going back to the Pro MX2 category, which we're not following on screen, Jamie Carpenter is your new race leader. Jamie Carpenter is your new race leader.
Sponsored by Giveaway Life.
You can't help yourself,
No, you can't. You can win yourself a Honda this weekend at Giveaway Life.
Another shameless plug from Swanee. James Carpenter, we call him Jamie, so we'll stick with that. Jamie Carpenter leading the way, number 184 on the JC 184 Crescent Yamaha. Jamie Law on the Apico Factory Racing Husqvarna in 2nd. Lewis Hall making moves up to 3rd on the Rob Hooper Racing Tiny Tablet sponsored machine Yamaha in 3rd. Tom Grimshaw, Chambers Husqvarna in 4th. Dennis Nathan Dixon on the RFX White's Transport KTM. Callum Mitchell, number 32, is into 6th. John Adamson, who was leading, is dropping down the order here on the Gabriel Solutions KTM. So I'm beginning to think that John Adamson has hit the deck or is still on the deck somewhere on circuit. Carl McNichol is in 8th, Jamie Wainwright for 9th, and the old boy who's earned his stripes over and over and over, Brad Anderson, 40 years young, out there in the top 10 with the kids in the MX2
This
class.
is his last year racing, well, he says, at professional level, but I think Brad said that before.
Yes, he has.
I'm sure if a deal came from somewhere, he would probably continue. Carlton really struggling now. Really struggling. If anyone doesn't know, the number 6 on the Kawasaki there has got a severely damaged shoulder. Not just broken, dislocated, all sorts of complicated issues. It needs rest, but this weekend was a vital opportunity for him to grab some points, and he is actually leading the MX2 championship and probably may come away from here with still in the top 3 in that championship.
Well, the old adage, you can't win championships on your good days. It's all about you win them on your bad days. And I tell you what, Carlton Husband, they breed them tough up north.
Oh, he's a tough cookie. He will. He'll grit his teeth and crack on with it. John Adamson's bike's not looking too pretty now either. number board lost.
Yeah, that's what I say. He was in the lead and he dropped down the field. So John Adamson has dropped down out of the lead in MX2. So he's had a big crash somewhere. That has given the lead to Jamie Carpenter, who has an 11-second lead in the MX2 category ahead of Jamie Law. And then Lewis Hall is just 1 second further back in that MX2 class.
Eyes on Tommy Searle at the minute on that Crendon fast track Honda. He's just going into the roller section at the back of the circuit now. Saw him doubling through there at the start of the race. Obviously gets pretty technical. He's having to fend off the Crescent Yamaha, Crescent Cab Screens Yamaha of Harry Koulas. So Harry Koulas really having to work the back of Tommy Searle at the minute. Those two obviously in the shadow of Simpson at the moment. Simpson in a comfortable second position, I think. Just reporting on what I can see out the window right now. So those not too much going on up the front there, but we're going to get eyes on them in just a moment. We should have eyes there, look, on Sean Simpson coming through, then Tommy Searle. Breathing down the neck of Tommy Searle is Harry Koulas, looking, I think, a lot more comfortable right now. So Koulas looks to have, you know, found a little bit of comfort on the bike and definitely looks a little bit better. So is he going to be able to do anything about the Crendon Fast Track Honda rider of Tommy Searle? We'll have to wait and see. So all the riders coming through on this shot. We're just doing a pan of everybody coming through here. Going down the hill, see if you can spot your favourite riders coming through. There's Stuart Edmonds there. There's Stuart Edmonds on the Pico Factory Racing Husqvarna again coming through. Looked like Carpenter in that shot as well. There is the MX2 leader, Jamie Carpenter, on the Crescent Yamaha. So Jamie has a system that anybody can get involved in that team. If you get in touch with Jamie, you can have one of the sponsorship spots on that bike. Is really open to sponsorship and people helping him out for individual rounds and stuff. I know also Ashton Dickinson does that as well. And
why wouldn't you? The
Good
kid's
idea.
winning.
He's winning.
He's getting, here we are right now. He is literally a mobile advert on your TV screen right now.
And you can see that big Crescent logo on the side there. PGVM, Paul Grimshaw Vehicle Movements, helping him out. GAL Giveaway Life. I'm sure there's a lot more as well. I'll get some information from Jamie maybe for the second race, and we can give some of those sponsors a big shout out.
The guys at Monster of Dirt do his graphics, so they're probably, after more sponsors come in, have to keep changing them.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah, they seem to be chopping and changing all the time, don't they?
But that's good. It keeps him racing, and that's what it's all about. So there's Gavin Stevenson on screen. Meanwhile, way out front, I wouldn't say way out front, but he's having a blinder. Todd Kellett, Michelin-supported rider, of course, as well. He has an 11-second lead, rider number 5, on the Yamaha France Dragon Tech Yamaha. There's Lewis Hall getting a bit jiggy with it as he goes into the sandpit. He is in 3rd position. He is just a second behind number 25, Jamie Law, on the Apico Racing Husqvarna. So a good battle shaping up between those two. Carpenter has about a 8-second lead ahead of those two, but I've got to say it's closing. Here comes Lewis Hall up to 2nd place in the MX2 and taking a second or more out of Jamie Carpenter. Race on. Lewis Hall can now almost see Carpenter on the yeah, this is going to be interesting. How much time have we got left? 7 minutes. 7.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go.
It's going to be a blue battle for the front there, isn't it? Rob Hooper's going to be relieved as well, I think, to see Lewis Hall fighting for a race win as well.
Yeah, I think Lewis just needs continuity. Lewis is a rider that categorically just needs a bike set up that he knows and pound out practice laps after laps. Yeah. So his new team, finding that setup, and of course COVID stopped them going out and testing and doing everything.
I know there was a big issue there. He jumped on a race bike in the first round, wasn't comfortable with it. I actually spoke to Lewis this week because I went and dropped some parts off with him. He's actually out there, believe it or not, people who are listening, on a pretty stock bike. He wants to ride a bike, race a bike that's exactly like his practice bike.
Yeah.
So Lewis has requested to the team, can I ride a stock bike? It's got an ignition pipe.
Yeah.
That's it. There's nothing. There's no wizardry going on with that 250F.
It's continuity. A
Exactly.
rider needs to know how a bike's going to do it. So that
when he hits a bump, he knows how it's going to react. When he hits the gas, he knows how it's going to react.
some riders can adapt. Bottom line is some riders can just jump on a race bike and okay. Some other riders, like Lewis, just needs to have that just regularity, continuity, so they know where they're at and they can build momentum.
Yeah.
And of course, as I said, it's a new team for Lewis, and he never got really the proper chance to test or get fully to grips with the Yamaha in the off-season.
Yeah.
Now he is.
And I imagine that a team like that, they haven't got budget to be running 50 horsepower race bikes on practice days constantly. So for him, this is probably the better option, and it's showing, isn't it?
It is showing.
So well done to Rob Hooper and the team and everybody around Lewis Hall that's built that and got him to, you know, hopefully, for them, take a race win.
Well, you've got to say, right now at this point, with 5 minutes 47 on the clock and 2 to go, it's a good day for the Blue Crew.
It is a really good day for the Blue Crew. Carpenter and Hall well up there,
and Kellett
and also Kellett and
leading the race. So
yes, it's great. Maybe the Yamaha is working really well around this Hawkstone circuit.
Todd Kellett has a 10-second lead over Sean Simpson. By the way, Sean Simpson, number 24 on his own team, SS24 KTM, still doing GPs as a almost privateer, his own setup. Tommy Searle is 5 seconds back from Sean. Harry Koulas back in fourth, maybe feeling the effects of riding a hard pack track yesterday, coming to sand today. But I was expecting a bit more from Koulas at this stage of the race. I thought he'd move up and challenge Tommy and Sean a bit more. It's not happened just yet. Martin Barr still finds himself the Ulsterman in third. On the Delcovic Racing by BRT Kawasaki. New team, new name for Martin this year, is his own setup. Then it's Jake Millwood on the Verdi KTM in third, rider 303. Josh Gilbert on the Par Homes Stebbings cars, Husqvarna in seventh, ahead of Glenn McCormack on the unique Husqvarna. Then it is Liam Knight, Gabriel Solutions machine, in ninth, number 134. And then Stewie Edmonds on the Pico Factory Racing Husqvarna in 10th. That's MX1. MX2, current running order is Jamie Carpenter. The gap down at the front now to 6 seconds. Lewis Hall, number 9, is closing in on him. On screen is the third place MX2 rider, Jamie Law, number 25. Then we got Tom Grimshaw, number 16, on the Chambers Husqvarna in fourth. Fifth is Nathan Dixon on the RFX Whites Transport KTM. Then it's Callum Mitchell, Par Homes Husqvarna. John Adamson, fastest lap of the race in the MX2, but stuck down in seventh, number 2, on the Gabriel Solutions machine. Then it's Brad Anderson, number 60, on the Verdi KTM. Carl McNichol, GRT, Whole Shot KTM in ninth. And finally, Jamie Wainwright, number 10 in 10th. No, sorry, number 40 in 10th.
I just saw something then, which is just frightening. So these guys now are actually, as they're doing the tabletop before the bridge, their foot pegs are grinding the ruts away, either side. So those ruts are as deep as the wheels go on these bikes now, and I just saw them grind, just hitting the bottom of the frame, and I was like, when you were talking, I was like, because I thought someone was going to make a big mistake, but impressive. Those ruts are savage now. Absolutely savage.
Sorry to talk over you, dude, but this is getting tight. I can see he's not quite on him yet.
Not far away.
But Lewis Hall is closing in about a second a lap. But he's got Gav Stevenson in the way. He needs to kind of get past Gav. There's Jamie at the bottom of the hill.
Job done.
Lewis now goes past, so he's now got a clear run. This is the battle for MX2 Moto wins here. Yeah, supremacy. Jamie Law on that 252 stroke, a Pico machine. But there's Hall in the shot, coming into the shot. Koulas has now gone past Tommy Searle, by the way, up to third in MX1. We're going to stick with Lewis Hall, try and stick with him, because just ahead of him is the race leader in MX2, Jamie Carpenter.
Yeah, so just trying to stay with the number 9 of Lewis Hall now on that Rob Huber Racing Yamaha.
There's Carpenter coming through the whoops. There's Hall. He is definitely closing. He is closing. Lewis Hall, and I tell you what,
it's going to be a good race between those two guys. They both want to be on the top step,
don't they ever? And I tell you what, they're both bulldogs, and they have got a little bit of needle, the pair of them.
Yeah, and
they've had a few on-track incidents where they've got together.
Similar pace, aren't they? But both of them are yet to really have a dominating win this year. There's been, you know, like both those guys have both had factors why they haven't won. You know, little things have gone wrong and stuff. So this is, both of them want this just as much as each other. So, and also Law is not too far behind Lewis Hall. So you're watching the leader on the screen there, you're watching Jamie Carpenter, just behind him there is Lewis Hall, and then creeping up on Lewis is Jamie Law. So MX2 is shaping up to be a blooming good race.
He's stuck with him because Hall went past Jamie Law earlier on, about 3 laps ago, but Jamie Law has not, you know,
he's not moved. The gap's still there.
He's kept him there. So there he is, the race leader in MX2, Jamie Carpenter, 184, and the JC 184 Crescent Yamaha. He would have got the pit signal now that number 9, Lewis Hall, is closing in. At the top of the field, it's still number 5, Todd Kellett, leading the race.
This will be Jamie's first pro win if he can hang on.
Right, well, let's
Lewis
see if he
has
can.
had a win around Fat Cats, if I believe,
last year.
So this is going to be Jamie's first pro win if he can hang on and keep Lewis Hall at bay. We've got his trainer messaging me, Ashley Wild from the RMJ Academy is probably screaming at his laptop screen right now. As me and Jeff have said, these riders are on their own. There's no one can help them now. They're on the track. All they've got to do is fight their own battles.
That's it. There's no pit lane strategy. There's no just adjust the thing on your steering wheel.
Let's give you some more power.
None of that. It's once you're out there, you're out there. Jamie making a mistake through the whoops. Do you know what? No doubt, probably starting to feel the pressure at this race. This point in the race, when you know you're getting close to your first ever race win at any level, but at pro level, you're going to start. It's inevitable you're going to think about it. You can't.
Adrenaline.
Yeah, adrenaline. You're going to start thinking everything's all right with the bike, hearing noises that aren't there.
Yeah.
He just needs to focus, really concentrate now. Jamie Carpenter. Todd Kellett is riding a stormer. He is still 7.6 seconds ahead at the front of the field in the MX1 category. Jamie Law still in third in the MX2 as still no sign of that 2-lap to go board, and Hall is closing. And we've got 3 laps from here. Hall makes a mistake though. That's getting really dodgy around this finish area.
It's tightening up though.
They're pushing. They got 3 laps to go then. Jamie Law at top of the hill. Lewis Hall halfway up it. There's Jamie Law on the screen. Sorry, Carpenter. There's Lewis Hall. There's Jamie Law. That's your top 3.
Tight. And Law probably hasn't had a race win for a long time.
He's the elder statesman of this class, along with Brad Anderson.
Law is a veteran of this class. Like, still comes out. You know, he's a working man, and he loves the. You know, he loves this. This is why he comes out and races out all the time with that Pika Thatcher Racing team. But it would be important for him to get a race win as well. That would be, you know, that might be another contract for another year.
Absolutely.
You know, it's important to the manufacturers.
It is indeed, and like we said, right now this is a good opening moto for the Yamaha crew, the blue crew as they call themselves, because they are leading both categories.
Todd Kellett just coming through there, absolutely blinder of a ride, Todd Kellett.
Yeah, he's still got a 7-second lead. There's Simpson coming into shot. So some of the riders further down the field.
Carnage, absolute carnage.
There was Nathan Dixon. That's John Adamson, I think, with all the front end of his bike
still smoking.
Battered.
If it's still smoking, guys, that's not a bad thing. It means there's still coolant in it.
There's Todd Kellett. We got him on screen, the race leader. He's had an immaculate ride. He got into the lead early doors, and he looks fantastic with those rather funky Liat motocross boots he's wearing there.
They look quite cool, don't they? I was just about to point that out. It's quite a fashion now to have like quite an understated kit with some flashy boots. It is the in thing. Motocross is a very fashion sport, isn't it? It definitely is. Kits get quite creative with the colours and everything.
There's Adamson. You see all the front end of his bike bruised and battered. At least I think that was him. Kellett, though, out on his own, number 5 on the Yamaha France Dragon. Yamaha looking incredibly good.
Oh.
So Kellett, he's going to get the 1 lap to go board next time around. Let's just see how it stacks up. The gap in the MX2 category between Jamie Law and Lewis Hall is down to 2.6 seconds. So let's keep an eye on that. If we see something going on, we'll get our camera crew on the case.
I'll tell you what, Todd Kellett has just been absolutely flawless throughout this, hasn't he?
Brilliant.
Flawless. What a ride.
Yeah, he is so strong. He is like a little ox. He always has been. Short, stocky, but so strong. The rider from Langport down in Somerset. Oh, getting held up a bit.
Yeah.
But he's safely on his way with a 6-second lead over Sean Simpson. Let's try and look out of the window here in our commentary booth to see where it's at with the MX2 category. Last time around, Lewis Hall had closed the gap. So they'll be coming through pretty soon around to the finish line. We're still following Kellett on screen. He's got this one. He's got so much experience. Fitness won't be a problem for Todd EK. TK5 doing the business.
See, Husband's just pulled over at the side of the track there, just going to try and roll over the finish line when the flag's out. Bless him, he's obviously in a lot of pain.
So we're sticking with Todd EK, and quite right too. He's been immaculate in this race. Certainly deserves the TV time out front. But we're just seeing where this battle is between the MX2 riders. I'll tell you what, we've got to swing to this, haven't we? Because look, with 1 lap to go, look at this for the race win. You have got Jamie Carpenter, and now Lewis Hall is eating his dirt. We're going to try and get that on screen. Bear with us, folks. We're trying to pick them up. They're now going up the hill. No disrespect to Todd EK, but we have a battle royale on this last lap in MX2. Here they come into screen now. Anytime it's going to be, there's Carpenter, there's Hall. He is closed in dramatically with 1 lap to go. And don't rule out Jamie Law, because if these two get together, Jamie Law is there to pick up the pieces. Checkered flag, by the way, has gone. We're going to stay with this 250 battle. We have to. Checkered flag for Todd EK. Sorry, Todd, we couldn't show you taking the race victory, but we're going to speak to you down in winner's circle. So Todd Kellett takes the moto win. Sean Simpson coming in second in MX1. This on screen is the battle for MX2. Just going to pick them back up. It's still, remember, this is Jamie Carpenter, 184, going for his first ever pro race win. There he is on screen, coming through the shot. Where's Lewis Hall? Right there, doing everything he can. He's going to run out of real estate, I'm sure. Jamie just needs to keep it together. Jamie Carpenter, he can't afford to make a mistake. He's got a bit of breathing room. He has got probably about 3 corners to go, but he's got to navigate the infamous whoops, which he's already got squirrely through. There he is, comfortably through the screen. There's Hall in second, and there's Jamie Law right behind him as well. What a great battle in MX2. So let's get on to the race leader. Here he comes, nicely into the sandpit. We're going to follow him home for his first ever MX Nationals, powered by Milwaukee, pro race win. What a big day on Father's Day. Dad Jason, well, that's one way of giving your father a good gift, is winning your first ever pro race. It's a 2-man team. It's him and his dad, and he's going to get it done. Big up Jamie Carpenter, JC184, Crescent Yamaha, taking the race win. We're going to throw down to Callum, who's down there in the winner's circle with TK5, Toddy Kellett.
Todd Kellett. Wow. So you've come all the way from, I presume, have you been in France?
I came from France on Monday, so I had a little bit of time, but yeah, made the trip back.
That was awesome. So Todd is normally doing beach racing. You're on the Dragon Yamaha team, aren't you? And that was an absolutely perfect performance that we saw from you then. That was a different Todd Kellett that I've seen for a few years. That was amazing, mate.
Yeah,
so have you got anything to say?
I'm really pleased. You know, it's a good Father's Day gift, obviously, and I think a lot of people sort of wrote me off in motocross, and you know what I was doing was different with the beach races, and I still love it. But I felt like I had more to give in motocross, and yeah, I'm buzzing to show what I'm capable of. And at the end of the day, this is just my off season, and I'm just having a blast. You know, we go back in September, and we get back down to the real business. So for me, this is just good fun, and I think that makes a difference. You know, when you're having fun, you do well.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think you actually got a fair go at motocross either when you did it. There was a lot of injuries, and it never really went right, did it? So you've got to prove it.
Unfortunately not. I give it my best, and I hope there's more to give.
Yeah, well, from what we saw today, I think that's going to turn some eyes your way, I'm sure. But well done, Todd. What a performance, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Hopefully another one. We're here with Jamie Carpenter. Jamie Carpenter, that was your first pro win. Your first pro win. How does that feel? I know it's been a long time coming, and I know the amount of work that goes into your program is, you know, it's ridiculous. So, yeah, let explain.
It's a long time coming, I'd say. I think the main thing was I took a few risks on the first lap, like jumped big, and that's where I did it. It was in like the first 10 minutes, spaced myself. Yeah, it feels good.
Did you get a good start in that one? We didn't really see you.
It's always difficult with a mixed race with a 450, but I guess I muscled my way around the first 2, 3, 4 corners. Yeah, and it was worth it.
Yeah, it was, and I know that you've been waiting for this for quite a while. Also, battling with Lewis Hall, he was coming. He had a pro race win last year, so you two got a lot of pressure, and it was amazing for you to finally pull it off, and hopefully you can carry that momentum forward. Do you feel that that's going to help, you know, psychologically?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think it helped. I went pole in qualifying this morning, which was a good feeling going to the race. Probably the best Father's Day gift I could say so far. Hope to do it again in the second race.
He's happy. Your dad's over the moon with you, mate. So hopefully do it again in race 2. Yeah. And just solidify your position. Well done, mate.
Cheers. Bit more prize money for the speeding fines, hey? Cheers.